I'd like to ask you to close your eyes. And this is a very short meditation as a preparation for the channels. And a meditation is really just an opportunity to stop and get into a stillness, because this is where we find the connection to Source. This is where our intuition comes in. And I'm sure if you were to ask these channelers when they channel, even when they first began to channel, they had to stop and sit and listen. And that's when they got the messages and the communication. And if you've noticed, channeling has changed since 2012. There's an instant drop into the core and an instant communication of the channel. In a past energy, it took a lot longer for that to happen. And so meditation too should change as a matter of course. And this is where I believe the meditation should change. And that is that you always carry it with you, not just in this moment sitting in the chair, but when you leave this room, when you leave this channel, this connection and feeling that you have should be broadcast to everyone you meet in your daily life. And that's the invitation of where you take your meditation to that next step.
So it is good day to you, huh? Very good to see each of you here with the light of the Creator all around you, your radiance, your glow. We are fairly lighting up Philadelphia, huh? So know that then Philadelphia, you'll probably use a little light here. Yes, you know that you are the reason we are here, not just in Pennsylvania, but on this planet. For those who are here that do not know us, we are Aronda. And we bring with us an entire council of beings of light that are here for your benefit. So you see, you are here to connect with your innate. Now you may think I know myself, I know what is going on, I know my body, know my heart, know my mind, know my feet, know my little apatuti, know whatever my body wants me to know. And yet, there are still questions that are within your mind. There are still connections that are within your soul, that the synapses hasn't quite matched up yet. Or it is reaching for the new vibration. You know, in your brain, in your physical brain, when I have a new thought or a new energy or a new habit, the neural pathways, the little electrical frequency, lets go of where it was and starts traveling to find that new energy. Now that is not a very scientific way to explain that, and you can find new ways to explain that. And we are sure you can Google it and find the real, actual language to explain that. But that is what is happening inside of your brain right now. We are we are helping you to rewire your circuitry. And as we help you rewire your circuitry, what happens is your innate skills that you were indeed born with, those innate abilities, because the children, as you were children once yourself, they have that. And through their innocence, they experience it. And you now are going back to that time without taking your body back to that time. Is that all right? For you see, You carry that circuitry still in your brain, in your energy, in your field. And we are reconnecting the old circuits so that light of the Creator is more you now than ever before. So take a deep breath. And again, take a deep breath. And for those of you who are listening in the future, in the virtual reality, we hope that you breathe with us too, as well, and know that you have just been activated in your circuitry. So with that activation, know that those circuits are indeed going all the way through your body, down to your toes, down through your body, through your spine. That rewiring process is not taking something from the outside and putting it in. It is clarifying that which is already within you and sort of dusting it off, so it can come into the light of day. You know, when you have a cabinet or something in your house that sits there, and you may have something on top of it, a little something, little chachi, that's what Marilyn calls them, and it sits there, and you don't ever touch it, you don't ever pay any attention to it. What gathers on it? Dust, yes, dust. And when you can go into the vessel Marilyn's home, and it's like, achoo, achoo, because there's lots of dust there. She doesn't stay home long enough to dust anything. But you see, with that energy, that is what has happened to your own innate. It's just not been utilized quite to its strongest capabilities. Do you know, utilizing your innate, you have the capability for everything. Take a deep breath. Utilizing your innate, your own energy, once you dust all that dust away, dust all those deposits away, dust all that old programming away, you have the capability of the magnificence. You can teleport. I wrestle Marilyn is working on that teleportation, so she doesn't have to use United Airlines. To teleport in that energy, you have the ability to sense inside of your body, to see or feel inside of your body and see those things that are out of balance and actually maneuver them to put them back into a place of balance. Did you know that? We know you can, but do you? By tomorrow or Monday you will, huh? So understand that we are just in love with you. We are so much in love with you. We want to just put your energy to our energy and do a brain meld, if we had a brain, into you, to acknowledge that wondrousness. So in that energy, in that vibration, in that connectivity, remember, as Vessel Marilyn drew a card early and left it back at the table, the card from the manifesting deck was presented by our dear friend Cryon. You are the light of the Creator. You are that divinity. You are that essence of truth, purity, love, peace, joy, happiness, evolution. You are that energy on this planet, in this galaxy. So with that energy, it is time to stand up and say who you are, where you are, how you are, what you are, and what you get the opportunity to acknowledge within your body, within your life, within your cells, within your soul. After all, your whole field is 26 or 27 feet across. When you get all those telomeres, all those cells, all that energy going in the same direction, what is possible? Everything is possible. That is correct. Everything. So if you think, oh, that can't ever happen, guess what? You're right. But if you think, I wonder if that can happen, I bet it can. Let's watch and see how the universe rearranges itself to accommodate that. Then you come away with mystical stories of love and light, because it is possible. Everything. And once you understand that essence in the cells of your body, in the cells of your field, that is the new evolution. And you are the way showers. You are the light bearers. Some of you have been light bearers before and were taken away because of that light. But the promise is, you will not be taken away in this time. That is the divine promise. So hold that light up high. Light the way and breathe into it. For your magnificence is strong and powerful and living well within you. Maybe you need to turn the light on yourself a bit so you can see who you are. As we hold up a mirror, you will see you as we see you. Divine beings of light. We are so grateful for you. We honor you. We trust you. We know you. Now, dearest, it is time for you to know you too. Namaste. Namaste.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. The words of Adirondha are the ones that I would bring you as well. Adirondha speaks of a field that you have. And there are various names for this. And we have spoken of it as well. And some call it the Merkaba or Merkaba. There is a human field of consciousness that some say is uniquely spiritual. Others say it's simply the vehicle that the human rides in, which is multidimensional. But the consensus, and you'd be right, is that you all have this. So I'm going to present something else. In physics, there's a tremendous energy created often when one field intersects another. And you see this with your magnetics, with the heliosphere of the sun, with the earth. It is common knowledge. And here sits a human being with a field. Is it possible that the field around you, which you don't see, called air, or the ethers, also carries a multidimensionality with it? And that has changed since 2012. Do you think it's possible that in an older energy where darkness was more prevalent and had more influence, that that particular sacred field was not near as effective as it is today? I just gave you a truth. So let's review what I just said so that you'll understand the next stage. In this new energy since 2012 and building, the veil has lifted slightly. It allows an energy which we will call the field. A multidimensionality of coherence that is all around you. And it doesn't push upon you, it doesn't show you anything, but it's there to be discovered. And what this means, dear ones, is with free choice, any human being who wants to can touch it, to awaken to it, to tap into it, to learn from it, to see it in whatever way you wish to and say, whatever this is, I like it. I want to show this to you in a practical way of who sits here in front of me and who listens. Every single time we have these kinds of meetings, a raise of hands is asked for. How many for the first time? And usually the audience represents 20% of those who have not been to a Kryon meeting before. And when you would ask them, well, what brings you this time? They will say, well, I found you and the channeling at some level, some place. And listen. Now, dear ones, this is the actionable point of all of this. Something brought you to listen to what many would think would be not viable for the time. Too odd, too strange. Most people too smart to go there, too smart to look at it. And there you are listening to it. Something had to happen in order to bring you to that place that said, I'll at least listen. And then something else happened. You, by listening, gave permission for truth to be given. And in that, you began to see something. And the purity of compassion and love is something you cannot fake. And it's there to be seen, experienced, and felt. And it soothes the heart with information that says to you, all of the things that you suspected through your innate since you got here may be correct. They may fly in the face of everything you've been told about the creative source, God, if you wish, Spirit. And it asks you to feel the truth. There is no evangelism in any of this. For there's nothing to join. There's nothing to read. There's no prophet to follow. It simply says this: how do you feel about what you're hearing? And the field that intersects with that Merkaba is fresh and it's new. And for the first time, there are so many who start to feel it and know it to be true. There is something to be said that the truth will seek its highest level. But something even more that says things are different. And your innate is going to respond differently since 2012 than it ever has before. And that innate of yours, the things that you intuitively knew when you got here, was put there by the Creator, so if you should look, it'll start vibrating. And there are so many listening to this and in this audience who experienced that vibrating and knew intuitively, aha, I want more. And what they were attracted to, dear ones, was a truth that was magnificent about themselves. Not a doctrine, not a following, not a procedure, no rules, just truth. And the more they listened, the more they realized that these things were not a trick, but they belonged to the innate in them, and they felt worthy. And they knew there was family around. And that's what brought many of them to the chairs here. And many of you listening, I would like to tell those who are listening for the first time, who feel that this truth may very well be something that rings for them, that they are not alone. Hundreds of thousands are starting to awaken to a truth that does not mean they join anything, except a higher consciousness of the human race. They're joining an evolution that will be a revolution in consciousness, which demands things that those here now would never believe could happen. Demanding integrity in government, demanding integrity in science, demanding that there is full disclosure and transparency and compassion and integrity, again, I use the word, in things that have had none for generations. And it's beginning, if you've watched your news. All of that is contained in this new field. Call it, if you wish, a coherence of compassion that intersects with you, if you want to look at it. And it never pushes. Because you have free choice, dear ones, you're going to want to have to look. I'm going to use this example yet again and again and again. 30 years ago, when my partner sat in the chair, he made a statement. As the practical one that he was, as the one not interested in these esoteric things that he was, the one who would run away from metaphysics, is who he was, made a statement. Before he sat in the chair, he said, Kryon, if you're there, show me. And he didn't know it at that point in time, but he had opened the door and given permission to be shown. That's all it takes. He looked. Dear ones, here is the promise. For those who wish to look with integrity and mean it, there will be answers. You will be shown things you didn't expect, and they will be magnificent. There is no downside to the love of God. There's no side effect except health and joy that could be there for you to feel. Too good to be true, I challenge you. Ask if it's okay to look. Once you ask, I want to know more, even if you're prepared to slam the door because you don't like it, I'll tell you, if you ask, these things will start to pour out. And what are these things? I'll tell you, depending upon who you are and what you're interested in and your life and your Akash, Spirit will tailor-make synchronicities for you to show you and show you and show you. And sometimes you may not like these channels, or you may shut the door and you'll say, I'm not interested, only to find synchronicity, have it show up again and again. And you'll be in a strange place for you, maybe at work or maybe on a commuter train, and you'll meet somebody and they'll say, do you know Kryon? And you'll say, what did you say? Have you listened to the YouTube? Have you listened to the site? Do you know the name? And you won't believe it. And it's not a prophet, and it's not a religion, and it's not a following. It's simply magnificent it's magnificent information about you. You've opened the door for you. That's what it's about. And then you find out who you are and who you've been and perhaps why you're here. And it starts to shake hands with so many things around you. And then you know there's no accidents. And then you take a look. And that's the way it begins. I'm going to give a message tonight that I previewed all at once for my partner in 2 seconds on stage a moment ago. It's more of what I want to tell you about what human consciousness will create in the future, if you let it. Where things may be going personally for you, physically for you, if you let it. It's a channel of pieces and parts I've given before, but not in this way, a summary. Now, I tell you that for those listening in the wrong place, you'll never find that channel. You'll have to go to the place where they're all together, listed in order. What a puzzle. I'll be back. I am crying in love with humanity. And so it is.